You can be with Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia. Yeah, those are all the variables that you need to think of now because you are already in your final semesters. Of course, we heard from the morning all these three successful speakers from KTMB, Qatar Energy, and also Petronas, right? All this IR, Doctor, TS, they achieve a lot in their um, career, what you want to achieve. So this setting comes from you. Okay. So if first question is what you want to achieve, then how you want to achieve that, what else you need to do to achieve that. All right. For me, what I did is basically to embrace this lifelong learning. So that's why I don't. I'm pushing myself. Nobody likes to instead of you scrolling your TikToks and whatnot, and then you do assignments. I mean, at times you feel bored with one and you want to do something else. So that's what happened to me. Every time I come back from Proton at night, it's like, what else should I do? So it's like rather than wasting my time at home, I did my MBA. Yeah. So and also it has been my intention of um, pursuing my PhD sooner or later in life. And apparently it became sooner, but of course there's a lot of challenges in accomplishing that. So I really salute to the lecturers, to all the speakers just now who have already get their PhD. So because my plan to have a PhD is by 30. Now I'm already at 33. Still no PhD ma. But inshallah there's a hikmah in that. Um, I tried my best to juggle between this and that. So and also you need to build your professional network. How can networking benefit your career growth? Right? Starting your career. It struck me few days ago because I started off in Proton as a minute writer, part of project management office. So the head of and a compiler, compilation of presenter management, very basic, but it gives a lot of impact to that particular organization and departments, right? Because a minute writer needs to jot down everything. So the head of project management office entrusted me to be part of his assistant team. So it's like, okay, I became um, part of his assistant team, and then I got this access to board of directors meeting, top management meetings, where I can be in one in the CEO's meeting. So when I was in the CEO's meetings, I learned how they think, picking up their brains and whatnot. All right. So so basically, this is what I did. So after 10 years, I was like, I'm still compiling presentation material, yeah, but in a whole new level because previously I did it for just a department. Now I'm doing it for the whole Mitsubishi Motors Malaysia because we're having a town hall for the second quarter on Monday. So corporate planning division is the organizer. So guess who has been entrusted to compile all this? Me. Okay, so it's like not saying that it's a you must do something very technical and whatnot to really contribute to the organization, but even the smallest and the tiniest things can make an impact to the organization. And back in Proton also, after all this minute writing, I became the leader of cross-functional team. So all of these teams, yeah, in blue, when they want to communicate to our divisions, our sections, must come through me. So even though I'm very young at that moment, I need to fathom all this, every single division's work because I'm the one who's going to present it again to the other departments. If not, you can now. Ames Laurent Girard. I'm very thankful, Alhamdulillah, to have a very supportive boss. I must say, he was my boss back in 2019 to 2024. Okay, he's a French guy from Gili. Then, how I can summarize my experience with him is basically I learned the international way while I'm here in Malaysia, close to my family and friends, right? So this is a good opportunity for me to learn. So human behavior, EQ and SQ, you are not alone in this world and organization. You must enhance your communication skills. You cannot work in silos. The most important thing when you just join a company is be humble, smile, smile, smile. You selesai orang, you smile. You selesai orang, you smile. Because you're new. You don't know who will help you, who will not help you, I mean, you just smile. Because there's the tips in a new organization. Okay, so I have a video here, tapi I need to re-share something. Very short, 6-second video. Boring, I tengah cakap saja. Let me see. I mean, of course, if everything goes well, then okay lah. Happy, everybody happy and whatnot. But what if this happened?
If I wanted to say that, I would have wrote it. I said what I said.
I said what I said. I mean, bergaduh dalam meeting. It happened to me when I was first been dispatched to Shanghai because I need to lay the groundwork in. Sekali lagi.
If I wanted to say that, I would have wrote it. I said what I said.
I'm a meme sharer, so bear with me. So back in Shanghai, masuk first meeting, director and director bergaduh in front of me. Whereas here in Malaysia, we are so polite. Boleh tak kita macam ni, macam ni? We have all this diplomacy at hand. But like Doctor, the presenter before me just now, being in international level is totally different. Like you don't know their culture, you need to be very extra kental. Okay, back to my presentation. 4:20. I still have 40 minutes. Do I have a lot of questions? I think slide. You know how to use Slido, right? So just go about that. Then I can have a look at that later. All right. See, like I said to you, but my questions is my slide is very long. Tapi gambar je. Right? So here, advice for the students, hungry for improvements, make yourself busy. Okay? On yourself, back up on your communication skills, soft skills, tools. What you need to have in industry. I have a, because I did some, because when I went to the interviews, a lot of interviews, I saw the potential in IT project management, which IT project management can also be interlinked with engineering knowledge. So what are the tools? Yeah, I have a slide on that later on. Learning, expand your horizon, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, right? And then your career path is one of the strategies you need to you need to focus on. So make yourself busy, but not pura busy. I mean, there's no sound, so I can also drink. Sorry, but you must be very busy. You too, because I told my sisters like we are quite busy this week because the town hall is next week. The whole of division is fighting for our lives. So it's like, so I kind of like it, but not all the time. Maybe like 1 or 2 months, then a little bit relax. I mean, these are the things that you need to juggle in life. This is the work-life balance that we're talking about. Design and develop solutions. These are the engineering management job scopes and roles. All right. So strategy and operational roles, team leadership, decision making importance. So these are basically things that you need to focus once you are in that role. So like for myself as a program manager, so these are my job deliverables. So I need to see from project initiation to this is from Google, but of course, project initiation to the launch, which is the deployment. Okay, so but along the way in red here, what before the implementation itself, we need to have lots and lots of reviews with engineering, with marketing, with procurement, with project management team, with the CEO. So this requires a lot of attention to detail and communication skills. This is what I did in project in Proton Design. What I did, as in like what I oversee. Yeah, because to be honest with you, I cannot draw a simple car, but I was in Proton Design because I did design management, right? Styling, all the color, digital modeling, physical modeling, engineering feasibility, all this goes beyond the jurisdiction of Proton Design. So from the very simple sketch like this to designing to this is digital modeling to physical modeling like this is quarter scale to an approval to media preview and finally to the launch. Of course, Proton Design will finish everything 18 months before. And 18 months is this process that engineering, testing, production control will need before the final product launch. Depends on the intensity of that project. Banyak you tukar, banyak yang perlu perbincangan. Here in Mitsubishi Motors is totally different story because my pitch during interview is basically is previously in Proton I was given a task. Hey, this is a project, please execute. But it's a totally different story now, although it's not as big as launching a new car, but I am the person in charge of creating a whole new project. Okay, so the traditional mobility for now, for example, just the basic taxi, corporate fleet services, and then Grab and Flux, you can search for Flux later on, mobility as a solution, how we interact with customers better, yeah, pure mobility. And individual, we have mobility as a feature, super apps. So I asked Copilot just now. I mean, an example is easy example is Shopee plus Shopee Food. Shopee has Shopee Food where it is mobility features where you transfer and send all this food to all around Malaysia using a mobility solution. Yeah, and Trip.com for me is a super apps. Okay, these are the mobility services. Frost and Sullivan 2025 mentioned that this is the easiest to do, the blue colored, and the high risk and a lot of things that you need to do is basically if you have mobility services, how you integrate with the airport systems, for example. So these are the maaf, yeah, mobility as a feature. Okay, so this is all strategic things that I need to fathom as soon as possible for me to survive in my current company. Great engineer in the world. I was first dispatched to China back then in 2017 when I was just 27 years old. All right. So within the span of around 18 months, I've been there 5 to 6 times, I think. The challenge, cultures comes first. Again, like I mentioned just now, how they interact during meetings. Communication is secondary because we have Google Translate and whatnot. It's doable because I need to be there before we bring the CEO for a review because we need to collaborate with them with Geely Design China in Shanghai. Now we need to bring the CEO over, but of course for the interview, CEO is just purely for approvals and reviews. But I also need to bring all the engineers. I need to bring all the designers. Yeah, for them to be stationed there from between 6 to 12 months. Yeah, to be side by side with the Chinese counterparts. And there's a lot of traveling back then. Still young, chair, still young back then. But it's a very good exposure, Alhamdulillah. Right? This is part of the design as designing a solution, right? So as an engineer, also, I use a lot of my engineering knowledge when I did the product management because product management for for commercial vehicle means a lot of convincing from facts. You cannot say like, oh, these trucks can bring your 120 tons of goods just like that. You need to tell how can it carry your goods, which gear shift. I mean, there's everything is how do you say? Everything is integrated in this system. It's a very good system built by the Germans, right? But at the same time, I cannot spec up, put all the features. I lump every features into my trucks that I want to introduce. Of course, it would be nice to have, but with the foreign exchange back then, €1 is 5.1 ringgit. This is a very good big challenge for us. We need to balance, yeah, between what we can offer to the Malaysian customers and will the Malaysian customers buy it. So again, you want to have all these features. As an engineer, is good to have, but as a product manager and also as a business, it's too expensive to have, right? Because that system allows me to do basically anything with the trucks. You order macam A to Z, you click, 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 and then they will give you a price and how the trucks will looks like and what features will serve what purpose for the customers, etc. So this is a good learning curve, especially for me. All right. And also I already left when they launched this, but I was the one who did the specification for this along with my head of product management, of course. The first EV vans, Mercedes EV vans in Malaysia, the EQV, is based on the V Class, right? V Class Avantgarde 300. So we bring it for proof of concept in Malaysia and pilot test. Professional engineer and ethics, we are almost towards the very end. Next, we have future and epilogue only. So these are the few extracts that I can do, right? For 30, what I can extract is basically like myself. I graduated in 2015. I was 23. So by right, if minimum, yeah, if you look at here, right, minimum 3 years, I can have my IR title by 26. But 6 years later, still applying lah. I did apply. I did apply. Now in the process of consulting with Dr. Azlina and also IR Noria Yusof, IR Dr. Nora Yusof, um, and also of course my head of project management, IR Azman Maisa, right, to really for the final submission. Okay, um, very quick one. You can apply via Board of Engineers or Institute of Engineers Malaysia. But if you apply from Board of Engineers Malaysia, they will assign either Institute of Engineers Malaysia or MySet. I can't remember MySet stands for what. These two will be the interview for you. So for me, I did this number two, straight away to Institute of Engineers Malaysia. Of course, our lecturers may have a different opinion on this, but that is what I do lah. Yeah, I applied using IEM. Okay, and I rang IR Dr. Noria a few days ago. I tanya Dr. Noria, Doctor, how do I apply as an ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer? What is the difference between our IR? She said, IR is under Board of Engineers Malaysia. BEM has already did a collaboration with apa ni, ACPE. Yeah, with ACPE. So after 3 months of getting your IR from BEM, you can apply to ACPE and you will be an ACPE lah. I mean, still an IR, but you are recognized throughout ASEAN. So for you youngsters, yang want to you can explore further. Of course, everybody wants to try to work outside of Malaysia, for example, to gain experience, to gain the US dollar gaji, for example. But these are the tools. This is the way, this is how you can achieve that, which is by having this certification. Okay, a little bit of ethics. This is part of your textbook. Um, this is from Board of Engineers or IMECI UK. Um, in terms of ethics, the simple way to put this is basically more experience. With more experience, you will gain higher position. So higher position means higher exposure. So that's why this is the distinct differentiation between technical manager and engineering director. In terms of the green one, why? Is because engineering director may have more say in any decision making. So if this decision maker were influenced by any other things that might jeopardize the organization, this is where the ethics comes in. So that's why this is the risk for ethics. Yep. So the engineering director, okay, have more ethics um, dilemmas. All right. So what should you do in the future? Is this is what I mentioned just now. When I went through all this job street lah, indeed jobs, etc. Um, there's one thing that I found out that the IT industry is booming, and IT industry will allow you to be wherever you are at the moment, but you can still serve an organization globally. Because when I did for my interview with one of the IT company, that person who interviewed me is the China nationality project manager, project director, but she is currently stationed in, if I'm not mistaken, Abu Dhabi. Of course, it's an online meeting. So if I got a job there, I will still be stationed here in Malaysia. But along the way, the founder, I learned it from my friend. The CEO is Malaysian. The CEO just come to Malaysia once a year. An Indian staying in India, Mumbai. So this IT industry, of course, is not purely IT. IT. It has this engineering um, factors in it as well, because of course, like here, all these development tools is basically I can relate it back to my time in Proton, because they use the tools for IT projects, which is shorter in lifespan, right? Um, for example, for project development or for car automotive development is, how to say, 12 to 18 months, but for IT, way shorter, 2 months, 3 months, and then you swap to a new project. So they really need to use this tool to really have everything. I mean, you screenshot this one. I mean, I will also share this. I mean, I'll find a way of how to share this with you all later, these slides. But these are the things that you need to also learn as part of your preparations towards. I mean, of course, here, if you can see Alias and VRED, Dassault System, Katia, this, you have learned this in university. This is the thing. Jira, Trello, Notion, Figma, those are the things that you need to further explore yourself. Or if you have the on course, you can go for um, courses, short courses. As a closure, things that you need to take care is basically focus on your soft skills. Like I said, smile, smile, smile. You go to the new organizations, you don't expect everybody to be very welcoming. Alhamdulillah, in Mitsubishi, they are very welcoming. Previously as well, and Proton, of course, I love Proton so much. Um, but again, it's how people are a mirror of what you did to them. Okay, you smile to them, they might smile back to you. If you don't smile to them, they might not smile to you, definitely. So those kind of things. Even yesterday, I was impressed with one intern, a marketing intern in my office. It's like, oh, she has a very good communication skills. It's like, oh, I'm not expecting this, but thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, continuous learning. did masters in engineering, did PhD in engineering, masters in, because Ayah Noria asked me, ni Dr. Azlina, why you don't do your PhD in engineering management? So I was like, apa jawapan? But yeah, those are all the things that you must take into consideration. Okay, be proactive and take initiative, stay updated, and be curious in life. All right, strong professional network, humble, embrace feedbacks. 9 and 10, engineers with purpose and passion. You must be, how do you say, one of the reason that I moved out of Proton is basically I've come to a point where I might sort of yeah, kalau I cakap I dah cover, it's like too arrogant, I must say. But it gives me an illustration that I'm sort of learned almost everything about project management in that particular organization already. So it's time for me to move on to to cover the whole cycle. I did project management, engineering management, design management. Then I moved to another company. I did product management. I did sales management, company two. Now is corporate management and business model management and those kind of things. So 7. If if need be, I need to do procurement management, for example, production management. So Tazlan must be very happy if I say this, production management. Um, because for me, management is something that I really look forward to. So I want to try everything here to really make myself as distinct from other candidate, right? And with the current situation at hand, especially when I mentioned to you about the IT companies just now, the world is your chessboard. You can be in Malaysia, you can work for an American company, for a British company, etc. So here, okay, your definition of success may evolve. Here, all roads leads to Rome, meaning you want to be successful in life, because this is part of my mantra as well. Because in life, you want to achieve something, something, something. It's not just one way towards achieving that something. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to achieve that something. So you need to be well equipped with all these ways and all these routes that leads to your room. Okay. I believe that is all from my so it's like around 30 minutes, 40 minutes. All right. So that is all my presentation for today. So now I believe is a question and answer session. So I'm happy to take any how to say questions. Let me see if there's any. Oh wow wow, okay. I think I should share this tab. Or before I go to this tab, okay, you all can, okay, let me give the link for Slido in the chat box so you can easily click. But I must be agile. I tak boleh kata be too rigid. One way doesn't work, then it's not the end of the story. Mana? Okay. Oh, while I'm doing this, siapa yang ada question online? No, question yang you nak tanya terus.
Okay, any questions from the floor?